it's Caitlin. So, I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do this yet. Right now I'm thinking about 3 different videos all pertaining to the same subject that this video's on. This video being included in that. So someone messaged me on Instagram not too long ago because they noticed that shelf that is now empty right there. I'm guessing that's what they did, because they're like, I think I see like Monster High stuff in your background. Can you do a few videos on whatever Monster High stuff you have in your collection, and maybe even talking a little bit about the franchise? And I said absolutely, because I love it. It's one of those things that, so I'm 26. It should be a guilty pleasure, but it's not. It's just a pleasure to love Monster High. And I feel like I'm not alone on this one. There were a lot of adults that were into Monster High when it came out. The majority of the people who, were still into it were, young kids. But there were a lot of older people that were into it too, just because it was so different. It wasn't Barbie. Now, nothing wrong with Barbie, but this wasn't Barbie. It had a Barbie feel to it, but it was something vastly different at the same time. Between the artwork of just the characters, like the show, the animation, to the sculpting of the toys and the dolls. This franchise was just amazing, not to mention the message behind it, which was, doesn't matter who you are, what you are, you're still valuable. It doesn't matter who you are, you can still be included, you can still be friends. You don't need to hide who you are, just be yourself. And I think that, that's obviously something that we've heard preached, when we're kids. But I feel like it's still a very valuable lesson. And this show did it in such an amazing way, just to make every single character so vastly different from each other, like literally different species. And I thought it was awesome. But anyway, so in this particular video, it's going to be everything that was on that shelf. And that shelf includes, which character do I want to start with? It has the Monster High vinyls on it. So this was kind of Mattel's way of doing their own kind of pop, I guess. Pop's been going strong for a while at this point. And, people were really getting into vinyl figures, pretty much non-articulated vinyl figures. And the doll line for Monster High was hugely successful. Until it wasn't. But they thought, okay, let's make our own vinyl figures. And these things were hard to track down a lot of times. You had a bunch of them that were, like, easier to find, and then every now and then there would be one that would come out that was just, like, hiding. Like, you could not find it. And it was really amazing just to find them in stores. And I absolutely loved them. I collected nearly every one. There is one. I'm going to hold off on Frankie for a minute. Let me just go ahead and go to the character that I'm missing the variant of. So this is Deuce Gorgon. I'm not going to take these out of the box, guys, because there are 2 windows. You can see the front and the back of the character. I will say, though, every single one of these are designed to stand. I have taken these all out of the box before. All of them stand. If you were an out-of-box collector, you could easily display these if you wanted to. But Deuce Gorgon was the main dude character in the franchise. And as you can see, he's wearing shades because he's a Gorgon. So he's the son of Medusa, and there was a variant of him with clear glasses. So that is the one I never could find. But I'm pretty sure that is the only variant that I am missing. And because it's so simple, like when we get to the other variants, if y'all have never seen these before, when we get to the other variants, you'll understand why I don't really care too much about this one. But this one is very neat. So he's one of the only ones that, most of them, like Frankie and you're gonna see, were designed for their hair. Like Frankie's hair wasn't actually that long, but it was designed for the hair to help them to stand. So Deuce's feet are actually connected at the bottom. Don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, that little white bar in between, that's connecting his shoes together. But anyway, I thought this was amazing. And here's the thing. Here's what I love about Deuce. He was that classic, like, bad boy / nerdy, he was popular, but he had a nerdy side to him, but he also had a very honest side to him. He always talked like, dude, but he had a very honest vibe to him. And watching the webisodes, which the webisodes can be a little mind-numbing at times for adults, I will say. But I stuck it out and watched them all. And there was a couple times when he would turn to one of his two best friends, Claude and Gil, and just say, dude, I love you. Bro, I love you. And little boys are taught not to say that. And I absolutely hate it. They're taught to say it to their parents, their grandparents, their siblings, but God forbid they say it to their other male friend. God forbid, because that's just a horrible sign, and I hate so much when I see a kid get punished for that. I honestly do. Or get, not really punished, but talked down to. Because they're like, don't say that. I absolutely hate that. I really do. And there were a lot of boys. It was mainly a girl line, I will say. But there were a lot of boys that were into Monster High as well. Because it was monsters. But, I love Mattel for doing that. I love Mattel for making that a thing in the webisodes. I do have guy friends that will say that to me. In fact, James, every time James Dieter messages me, the first text he sends is, I love you. At the end of it, he'll say, I love you. And I absolutely love that he does that. Because I think more guys need to do it. Like, obviously, if you're someone who's not comfortable with that, that's okay. But I don't think we should be taught to make it uncomfortable. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, I love Deuce. I love the sculpt of this one. The snakes on this one does kind of look like gummy bears. Or gummy snake. I'm not gonna take this long with all of them, I promise. This is gonna be a long ass video anyway, but I just had to say that because I'm strongly opinionated on that. So Frankie was the star of the series at first. So she's Frankie Stein. We all know who her dad is. So she was put together, and it didn't matter what you were, like when you were supposed to be seeing Frankie, she would always say she's 16 days old, even though thousands of movies have come out. A bunch of webisodes, tons of movies, yet she's still, for some reason, 16 days old. You thought Ash being 10 years old for 20 years was bad. This girl's been 16 years old for that long. But almost. But she does have two different color eyes, which was definitely something very awesome about her character. She's got stitches all over her. She's got that green mint skin. I absolutely love this. So she was kind of meant to be like the more science nerd, as well as like the leader of the group, the leader of the school almost, even though she was the new ghoul in school when it started. She was still meant to be kind of like the ringleader, like the glue who held everyone together. But she was also meant to be a bit of a science nerd, but we'll talk about that when I talk about the series. I want to talk about the reboot. I want to talk about the reboot. That's what's going to be the third episode of this. And I know these videos aren't going to be too highly sought after, besides, Monster High nerds like myself. But I don't really care. Because I want to rant about Frankie, because I think Frankie did better in the reboot than she was in the original series. But anyway, so here's the variant for Frankie. Not every character had a variant, but this one did. So it was more of a pattern. So you can see, well, you can't see, but I'm telling you, it says like totally voltage on it. There's lightning bolts going everywhere. There's nuts going everywhere, like the nuts and bolts. You can still see her stitches. They're in yellow. Different shaped lightning bolts, pretty much. Gears every now and then. And then her hair is just this silver metallic. So it was just these patterns. For some reason, Deuce, they just decided to make it boring, but whatever. But there was that holographic part on the logo and on the bow for the skelet. So these ones were more interesting. They were definitely weird, but these chase figures were very interesting. I say chase figures. The majority of the people who were getting the chase figures were the people who wanted to get all of them, aka like adult collectors. Because the kids, they wanted the ones that looked like the character. Duh, but whatever. So here is Claudine Wolf. She is the werewolf. I love werewolves. It doesn't matter what kind of werewolf we're talking about. I love werewolves. So Claudine was the sassy one. She had a New York accent, and she was the fashionista. She was the one who dreamed of being a fashion designer one day, so she was very artistic. She loved her black and purple. For sure, she loved her black and purple. And she gained strength during full moon. She didn't change in full moon. But she got like strength and speed and just stamina, I guess, which I thought was very interesting. Now, I didn't point this out with Frankie because I know you guys can't see them very well. I know with Frankie it's a lightning bolt, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But every single Deuce doesn't have one, but every single ghoul character, which are the girl characters, have those little highlights that they put in eyes that they have in all dolls, but these are shaped. So hers actually looks like crescent moon, which is cool. And also, I forgot to say that the bodies on these, they're not so much sculpted. Like you can see the skirt on her is sculpted, but the little ruffles on her neck are just painted on. So it was a very simple mold that they were using, which I can understand because they're just basically trying, try this out and see if it works. And they went through about a few different runs with it, so it worked. So Claudine also had a pattern to her. You can see she's got that bright purple again. And then her pattern, there's a zipper going down her body. Every now and then the zipper opens to reveal animal print, like a cheetah print. And then we got paw prints, safety pins, and crossbones on it. So, other than the cheetah print, nothing really to say fashion. But, I mean, I guess the zipper. But I understand the paw print. I don't understand, and I guess the safety pins because she was designing clothes. I don't really understand the crossbones, but whatever. And who else do I want to go with next? Let's just go with Draculara. So Draculara was the vampire character. Definitely very, very much a girly girl, this one. She liked to gossip. She liked to talk. She had a Transylvanian accent, of course. And it was awesome. So I know in the book, which was based on the canon Monster High, but the story didn't connect to the story that was being told through the webisodes and the movies. But in the book, her nickname was Lala. I kind of wish that was the same. That way, when the name Lala is spoken, we're not just thinking about Teletubbies. But I think it would have been neat. But her highlight is a bat, obviously, and she has fangs. So did Claudine. I don't know if you guys could tell. But yeah, she was the fashionista that just talked a lot, and she had a big heart. We find out that she's the reason why we have Valentine's Day, loosely, in one of the movies. She had a boyfriend named Valentine. It was supposed to be for her, but he named the holiday after himself still. But anyway, and also, I don't know if you guys can see, but the inside of the box is detailed as well. So this is awesome. I always loved her pigtails. Definitely not my favorite character, but I loved the look of Draculara, and also she has that heart-shaped birthmark underneath her eye, which is so freaking cute. And her pattern one is obviously, there's a bunch of fangs, like lips with fangs, and hearts, and bats, and I think those were supposed to be crosses, but they look more like stitches. I don't know. I think they were afraid to put crosses on there, honestly. And it also has, like, scary and cute, and her hair isn't metallic, though. It's just solid pink. So, there is Draculara, and of course these all had the same mold for all the pattern ones. So, there's that one. Now, I'm going to go to this one real quick. So, Claudine, or not Claudine, but Cleo. I'm going to go to two before I go to some others. So, Cleo and Laguna were the two out of the main 5 ghouls that didn't get a pattern. There wasn't a chased variant for these two. And I guess they were kind of not as popular as the others, but still, I thought it was weird that 2 others got it, but not the 2 in the main series. But anyway, so here is Cleo. She's doing the classic walk like an Egyptian pose. So she is a descendant of, she's a mummy, and she's the descendant of Egyptian royalty, so as far as she's concerned, she's still royalty. So she's a bit of a snob. She's one of the good guys. She's not, a bitch, but, well, she can be a bitch. But people love her. She does have a heart, and her eyes her eye shines are like onks, I guess. That's what they call them in Scooby-Doo, Where's My Mummy? So that's what I'm going to call them here. So she has those little Egyptian onks on them, so you can see the bandages all around her legs and arms that are painted on. It's really freaking cool, and they have, she always wore this, like, sparkly top, So all the sparkles are painted on that blue part of her outfit. So it's very, very cool. So yeah, she was the popular one. She thought, or at least she liked to think that she was the most popular one at school. Definitely a diva, did not like to do what she was told, like to take the easy way out. But, you know, classic kids thing. She pulled it together when her friends needed her and all that stuff. So, and then we have Laguna. Now, Laguna is notorious for being, I think, everyone's least favorite out of the main five. And again, I'm going to talk about that in the reboot too, because I honestly don't think they did her justice in it. Even the stuff that was mainly towards her wasn't. So, I don't know. But Laguna was the saltwater sea monster, daughter of the sea monster. She was from, like, the Great Scarier Reef. There was a ton of puns in Monster High. But, so she's from the Great Scarier Reef, so she has an Australian accent, which I thought was adorable. So you can see she has, like, flowers and stuff in her hair, and she has blue streaks in her hair, which are so freaking cute. Laguna aesthetically is one of my favorites, honestly. And her eye shines are little water droplets. I loved her look. Again, I just don't think they did right by her. And also, if you look at her legs, she's got these fins on her forearms and on her shins. But the ones on her shin are facing wrong. If she's swimming through the water, those are going against the current. So, a bit of a design flaw there, and all the dolls and everything had that too, and so did the character in the show, which I thought was a little weird. So the sixth main one, I guess you could say, she wasn't like in the theme song or anything. Well, she was seen in the theme song, but her name wasn't spoken or anything. But she was in nearly every movie, I think, and she was definitely a fan favorite, and that is Ghoulia Yelp. She was the zombie character here, and I love Ghoulia. She's my favorite character, for sure, because she's the nerd. She's the nerdy one. She loves computers. She's a comic book nerd, and I absolutely love her. But the thing with her was, she never spoke. She just moaned, which I thought was so freaking cute. Honestly, all the other ghouls knew what she was saying, but they would have to, like, translate. One thing, though, I don't like, so she always wore this, like, cherry top here, so that's what her eye shines are. Instead of, like, making it, like, I don't know, making it look like a computer key or something, or a computer mouse or something, I don't know. They could have done something technology related, I think. I know you guys can't really see because of her glasses, but I love this. And this is the outfit. If I had to choose which outfit I would have to wear, it would definitely be Ghoulia's. I absolutely love this. She had those cat eye glasses. I freaking loved her. And she had a scooter. She loved her freaking scooter. I don't know why I love that she loved that scooter, but I do. And this is her pattern variant again. So Cleo and Laguna didn't get one, but Ghoulia did. So hers, it has a brain pattern all over it. She's got, like, oil droplets coming up her legs, not down her legs. She's got heart-shaped brains on there. She's got Ghoul Genius written across her. And there are some, like, dripping cherries again on her body. And then her hair is like this chrome. And even her headband back there, her green headband, is chrome, and so is her glasses. So, this one's definitely the weirdest one, but it's also the coolest one, because she's my favorite. This is the one that was hardest for me to track down, too. So you can see those black spills going up her legs. They got creative, I will say, with the whole pattern thing. So, they definitely did. So, the next character is Toralei Stripe. Toralei was the mischievous one. She wasn't, I wouldn't say she was bad. She was meant to be. She was meant to be, like, the bad one at school. But she still had her moments, not as many as Cleo did. But she was the most hated one, for sure. Of the fans. No one liked her. No one was ever rooting for Toralei. So, she has regular eye shines in her, like, just round ones, but her eyes are also, like, you know, cat-like diamonds, because she's a werecat. So, curiosity killed the cat. She was the personification of that statement. Accidentally, like, taking them through time and stuff because she pushes the wrong button and everything. So I find it funny because she has such a short hairstyle. You know, they exaggerated everyone's hairstyles in these vinyl figures to make them stand, with her, they just made her tail gigantic for her to stand, but they went ahead and made the hair gigantic too, just so it would continue to fit in with the rest in the series, which I thought was very, very cute. And she has all these like tiger stripes and stuff across her outfit. I love this so much. I'm curious to know how many of you guys are actually like caring about this. But oh, I forgot to go. I was gonna go to the next pattern one after Gulia, but I forgot. But here she is. So this is Venus. So she was the last one to get a pattern variant. Venus McFlytrap, daughter of a plant monster. I think that was just what they called it, a plant monster. So, there. I don't know. I always loved it because she was one of the few characters in a kid's thing that had like a shaved side of their head. I always thought that was so cool. And of course, she was the environmentalist of the group. Now, she has these vines painted on her legs, and the actual dolls, they were molded onto her legs, which I thought was always cool. And she has a regular eye shine as well. I think, yeah, this is one of the last ones they did, and I think they stopped caring about the eye shines, which was stupid. I like the weird eye shines. But she's got, like, Eco Punch or something on her outfit and stuff, and this isn't even the pattern one. This is just, like, her regular outfit. So, she was always, like, green. Multiple different meanings. So, and then, of course, again, her pattern one. Her pattern one is also the plainest and honestly most stupid. It's just vines and thorns and weird flowers going across her body. And, like, I don't know if you would call that metallic. It's more pearlescent than metallic on her hair, but there she is. Next is the one that everyone, for some reason, just puts into a series. Now, I don't mind her being in the vinyl series, this series. I mind that she has a Funko Pop and Gulia doesn't. But anyway, so here is Escalita Calveras. She is the Hispanic character. She's meant to be like a De las Daras. I'm not even gonna try it. Day of the Dead skeleton. Like a sugar skull. So, I absolutely love this. She, like Claudine, is really into, like, fashion, but she's also very family-oriented, because, again, she's Hispanic, and that's part of their culture, like, heavily. So you can see this one is actually molded a little bit more like a skeleton, like some of the others. Like, again, like, Venus didn't have her vines molded onto it. And this isn't, like, a pure mold, but it does have some skeleton-like features on the arms and legs, which is amazing. I absolutely love this. I won't say Escalita, like, mold-wise, like, sculpting-wise. I mean, how many times do you have a doll marketed towards young children, especially, like, girls? That's a skeleton. That might be why, because it was just so different. Probably why she gets added to stuff a lot of the times, and I think it's very, very cute. But, I don't know. Again, she was only in one movie, though. So, I understand her getting some dolls, but I don't understand her getting the limelight a lot of times in the products. And here is Rochelle. She was hall monitor. So she was the one that was always, doing the rules. She was making sure that all the rules were being followed. And she is the daughter of a gargoyle. So she's made of solid stone. And that brings up a few problems in her life every now and then. I always love her style because it's almost like pastel goth looking, and I absolutely love it. Her wings are useless, by the way. She does perch a lot on, like, higher points in the school, but I don't think she actually flies. Because, again, she's made of stone. It's kind of impossible. And, it would make more sense if she had the pop, even. Like, I still wish it was Gulia. But at least Rochelle was in a couple more movies, other than just, like, the one. But I'm gonna keep ranting about that. I don't care. I don't care. So I think we only have 2 left. Or no, 3 left, sorry. So this one is honestly one of my favorite characters, and I think more underrated. It is Twyla. She is the daughter of the Boogeyman. And I love it so much. So her thing is she can travel, like, in the shadows and stuff, so she's a wallflower, really. She doesn't like attention. She doesn't like the limelight. She likes being just in the shadows, like in the back of the classroom and stuff. So she's me, but I'm a mixture of Ghoulie and Twyla. And I love her look, because if you look on her hands, if you guys can see it, her hands are actually gray here because the ends of her limbs would end in like translucent, like a shadow, pretty much. And they weren't going to do it here because, again, it was a solid mold. They weren't going to do it in translucent ever. But I love this. If you ever look at the dolls, it will be translucent on the ends. But they just went and used translucent here. I kind of wish they did and just went ahead and painted it, but whatever. It still looks really cool. You can still see like the wisps coming up her legs for the shadows. It's really freaking cool. Because they didn't do translucent here, but they did translucent with Spectra von der Geist. That's the one whose last name I get tripped up. So she's a ghost, and she is the writer of the Ghostly Gossip. So she likes to make up gossip too, not just spread gossip, but make it up sometimes. There's a movie about that one. But yeah, she's the ghost, she's the gossip, she loves to write. And it is awesome. Look at her eyes. Her eyes are just perfect. I absolutely love them. Her movie is one of my favorites as well. And again, her legs are actually translucent pink, and her arms are translucent, just plain clear. So I really wish they would have, again, done that with Twyla, but did it for two different colors of translucent for Spectra. But not one for Twyla. So this one again is another fan favorite for sure. This is Abby. After she was introduced, she got put in as much stuff as Ghoulia, because everyone loved this character so much. So Abby Abominable was the daughter of the Yeti. So she was, what would that be? The Arctic? I mean, definitely the Arctic, but Antarctica? North Pole? I don't know. But she definitely had a very thick accent, and it was so freaking cute how she would say things that would be like normal in her culture and just got completely weird in ours. And it was just very cute. I loved it. She always wore that sweater. She was very, very sassy. Very sassy, very sarcastic. And it was just very cute to see. And her thing, I love every single doll that they made for Abby. I didn't collect many of the dolls, I will say that, but I do know a lot of them. Always had sparkles to it, because her thing was ice, so she could create ice. And also had, like, a metallic, I think they would put, like, what do they call it, like, garland, whatever, like, tinsel, that's it, tinsel in her hair. So here, they went ahead and put the glitter on her skin, on her hands and her face, and on her hair is that pearlescent again. And her hair, under than like a lot of them that had like one main color, then streaks. One color was streak. She had 3 colors. So you see some blue, some pink, and some purple streaks in her white hair. I just love her design. I love her character. She has fangs as well. I mean, come on. You gotta love her. I love this so much. So now there are more vinyls in my collection. I'm actually gonna save those for the next one, because I knew this one, I mean, I'm gonna edit it a little bit, but this is 30 minutes long, hell. But yeah, so just to save some time, but these are the main ones. Those are the ones that are always up here. They're like 3 deep, so I usually just put like Ghoulie and Abby and all my other favorites at the front. But yeah, I'm only missing that one Deuce, I believe. It's been a few years, so what year did these come out? I honestly can't remember. Okay, so this one came out in 2014, and I know Rochelle was one of the later ones. Claudine had to be in the first one. Okay, this one still says 2014. So maybe they all came out during 2014. Probably a few months apart. So these are a few years old. Definitely not going to happen anymore because Monster High isn't happening. Every time it gets rumored, like, yeah, we're going to start it back, no, nothing happens. But I know I absolutely love this, and obviously I'm not alone since this was a request. So, I absolutely love this. So, if there's anything in my collection that you guys have seen that you want to be reviewed, let me know. I'll try. If I can at all. I mean, it's not that hard if it's something I already own at all. If you want me to talk about something, I totally will. Because I don't know if y'all have noticed it yet, but I like to rant about crap. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. I know at least one of you did. But hopefully some other of you guys like this too. I know this is a bit of a niche kind of thing. But I absolutely love this series, and I love this franchise, and it's amazing. Monster High made a community just like Funko did, honestly. And a lot of those people that were in the community are still, linked together through this. Even though that thing died, pretty much, the series died, there were a lot of friendships made across the world due to Monster High, just like Funko. So, it's amazing how one franchise can bring people closer together. It really is. Both adults and kids. So, hopefully you guys kind of liked it at least a little bit. Let me know what you guys thought, and remember guys, like always, it's a community, not a competition. I'll see y'all later. Bye.